2016, we have an initiative that we want to provide more information to our partners and our customers, and we've got great information on our intranet right now that's not really accessible through SharePoint. So we want to understand how we can push that information to the extranet and just the information that we need. Can you explain how Replicator would help that process?
That's a great question. Yeah, definitely. So in our situation, what we would do is we would take the final documents. You certainly wouldn't want drafts going out to your partners, would you?
No.
So you would have either a location or a column that would say final, and what Replicator does is you would tell it when this is either in that document library or marked from the status that says final. You would be able to replicate from the intranet to the extranet. And, you know, Replicator has this notorious background of being really complicated, but in the sense of an intranet and extranet, you install it in two locations, intranet, extranet, two SharePoint farms. Sometimes it actually can be on the same farm, but that's getting way too techy. Yeah, you accuse me of doing that all the time. And you install it, you say where those destinations are, and then you can pick, I just want this library, or set a rule that's by that column that I just mentioned. So just like migration, you have to plan, but the amount that you have to plan isn't huge, and it runs. So it's not that bad. It's not that intimidating. I promise. We have people who can demonstrate it. So that's how we would do it with ours. You'd have an example again, two farms, two replicators, and you would set a rule that said when this status changes, send it over to the extranet. In an extranet case too, you probably wouldn't allow them to edit. So that's called, you know, one-way replication. And maybe if it's the marketing department and not a partner and you want to collaborate, you can say bi-directional. So both changes come. And that's another thing about Replicator that is different than using OneDrive for Business that's for individuals.
Right.
It's really about those conflicts. What happens if you're editing, you're my marketing partner, you're editing at the same time, it's going to say, oh, hold on, time out, we have a problem here.
Who wins?
Who wins, exactly.
Right.
And there are settings to decide who wins. So a lot of that is built in. Replicator is sophisticated because it has to be, but it's not as complicated to describe to people how it's working.